Megan Kolb.
And I'm Mike Garrity.
And welcome to 3 Wide Life. This week we have a tribute episode dedicated to one of the greatest drivers we've ever known, Jason Leffler. He ran all the way from grassroots to the top level of our sport.
That's right, 3 midget titles in a row, all the way to the Sprint Cup Series. So we sat down with him while he was at KBM Motorsports driving the Dollar General truck, talking with him about how he even got started in racing, where his passion came from, and where he thought his career was headed.
Every Saturday night we'd go watch the sprint car races, and I watched a guy named Dean Thompson win every Saturday night, and he was just an inspiration to me, and I knew that from that point on I wanted to drive race cars in some form or another. I've always enjoyed everything about racing, working on the race cars, you know, obviously driving them, number one, trying to make them go fast, but you know, when I got to be, you know, 16, 17, started racing full-size midgets and racing for my dad. We started winning races, and then I started getting phone calls from people back east, and that's when I realized I could probably make a living doing it. Raced the USAC, you know, National Midget Tour. We got, you know, lucky. We won that thing 3 years in a row with 2 different car owners between Pete Willoughby and Keith Coons, and then Steve Lewis and 9 Racing. And one year I actually won the Silver Crown title and the midget title all in the same year, so that was a great year. And before I knew it, I was down south racing for Joe Gibbs, so it just happened really quick, and with the help of a lot of people, I was able to get down here in NASCAR. I mean, I can't pin it on one person, but I mean, obviously my dad got me started racing. He developed that passion, and Larry Howard, who I mentioned earlier, but Parnelli Jones, Paige and PJ, their whole family was great to me, and Tony Stewart. I mean, if you want to go down to a specific event, it would have to be Tony Stewart, because he got me my opportunity with Joe Gibbs Racing, and that's what set me on the path to stock car racing. So he's always been really good to me, and even way back when I went USAC racing, you know, I lived at his house in Columbus, Indiana, and that was when he was IndyCar racing. He hadn't even made it down here, but it's hard to just say one, because it was a group of people that were always so good to me. I'll tell you a story. You know, when I came to NASCAR, there was no driver development. I mean, I got a shot with Gibbs. I sat in an office with Joe Gibbs, and he told me that, hey, we're going to give you a shot in our Busch car, which is sponsored by MB&A, and you're going to crash more than you ever crashed in your life, and it's going to be the toughest year you've ever had in racing, but we're going to stick with you, and that's what we're going to do. And that was I laugh at these driver development programs now, but that was how Joe Gibbs explained it to me, and before I ever turned a wheel in his race car. So I was very fortunate to come in when there was more leniency, and where owners gave you more of a time to develop your skills, you know, and they didn't want it right now. They knew it was going to be tough and take some time. I don't know if I'm any good at it, but I just keep going. So.
Jason Leffler had a great story in racing and clearly has a lot of history. You can really see the passion that he truly had on and off the track. Jason will be missed tremendously. The way to remember Jason the best is to have a race in his honor. So let's check in at the Jason Leffler Memorial. Mike, what's going on?
That's right, Megan. Today we're at Wayne County Speedway in Illinois, and it's no ordinary day of racing. Today we're celebrating the life of Jason Leffler, who was killed in a winged sprint car race, and today is all about having fun and putting on a great show. But Jason was more than just a passionate driver. He was also an amazing father. So we're raising funds for the Charlie Dean Trust. 100% of the front gate and 50% of the back gate, plus all the licensing, goes toward the Charlie Dean Trust Fund. Let's have a really fun race, and let's remember Jason in a special way.
We shall fight with growing confidence and growing strength in the air. We'll fight on the pitches, we'll fight on the landing ground, we'll fight in the field, we'll fight in the hills. We'll never. I came to win, now you're gonna lose. You're sorry and there's nothing else you're gonna do. For practicing, I guess you didn't come true, 'cause I came to win, now you're gonna lose. I came to win, now you're gonna lose. You're sorry and there's nothing else you're gonna do. For practicing, I guess you didn't come true, 'cause I came to win, now you're gonna lose.
Well, my wife and I purchased this track about a year ago, and with Jason's passing, we were in Charlotte at the services, you know, and trying to think of something really special to do for, you know, such a great friend. And I just said, you know, we need to run a memorial race at our racetrack. Two things will happen. I get to use the racetrack, and we need to get our trust for Charlie, you know, up and running, and start working on providing for his future as life goes on, and doing what our obligation is to Jason, which is look out for Charlie and to make sure he's taken care of in life, you know. So we did it.
We're at Wayne County Speedway, race for Jason Leffler, one of the greatest race car drivers to come through the midget ranks, and we're going to celebrate his memorial race.
We're just here to support little Charlie and you know, Jason, his family, and really the whole motorsports community.
Just to have an event like this to celebrate it, not only celebrate his life, but to show our support for the family and such a tough time. You know, the racing community, you hear it over and over again, is a big family, but you know, it's times like these that you really see how big of a family it truly is, and we're happy to be here to support it and to support the cause the best we can.
You know, his passing was sad for all of us, and really thankful that all the people put this together for a good cause for Charlie, and for all of us to remember Jason.
There's a lot of us that loved him. I mean, he was the best little kid ever, we call him, but he was 30-some years old. But he was just a great guy, and we all loved him, and want to make sure that Charlie's gets a good college education and whatever can help him. You know, just like Jason would have done for him if he was here with us.
He never really thought that people still cared about what he was doing, and so to see all of the people coming and really just going out of their way to make this so awesome, it's really unbelievable. He always told me that racing was a huge family, and I never really saw that big of a family until all of this, and everybody's just really amazing, and Charlie's going to be able to see all of this one day. Even though we couldn't have him here, he'll be able to see it one day and understand his dad a little bit more and see all of the love that everyone had for him, and he'll really get to know him as a person.
Oh, Jason's been just a great race car driver, and you know, a friend. You know, he was both of those things. It is a great thing for me to be here and supporting the Jason Leffler Memorial. I'm proud to be here, and hopefully we can win this race tonight.
This is great racing. I mean, this is, you know, short track, hometown stuff, and I love this stuff, and everybody that turned out, and everybody that's, you know, we're trying to raise money for Jason, but the racing is big too, because I know that, you know, it was an important thing for Jason, you know, except for the money. It's really great to see all these people, though.
It's emotional, you know. I've been fortunate to have so many great friends in racing, families, and to be able to put something together and see everybody come out here with Jason Leffler's name on their car, or you know, in memory of Jason Leffler, or just to see everybody's here to race, to be competitive, but they're not forgetting the purpose they're here, and the racing family, be it in open wheel cars or NASCAR or steel body cars, ARCA, go-karts. Everybody lost a true competitor, and for a lot of us, a true friend when Jason passed. And it's exciting because everybody here knows that the money that we're raising is going to support his son, and that's the best we can do, just to look out for his son. So it's unbelievable.
So now that we've heard what the Jason Leffler Memorial is all about and what a great cause it is for his son Charlie Dean, we get to hear from Jason's dear friends and some of their great stories of how they remember Jason.
You know, I got a lot of little Jason Leffler stories. You know, he and I pretty much kind of basically started midget racing in the same era, even though I'm 100 years older than he was. But he was great on the pavement, and we went to my first experience at PIR out in Phoenix International in a midget. You know, I went out there and I thought I was pretty dang fast, but he went out there right after I did in the same car, was like 3 seconds faster than I was.
He was such a fierce competitor. You know, prior to winning the Summer Sizzle at 16th Street for the big race that year at that track, to win that was pretty awesome.
We were all close on the race team. We were extremely close, actually. And early on, we rented a couple houseboats, and went to the lake up in Cumberland. And Jason was with us, and a bunch of Jason's friends that were open wheel guys from Indy all came down, and there was maybe 45 or 50 of us on 2 houseboats, and we spent 3 days on the lake. And Jason, I remember the middle of the night, started up the boats, and the boats were tied to the shores, and he started up the boat and put it in reverse and got it and basically slingshotted it back into the shores at about 4 a.m. and all of us just went flying inside. I was laying in bed and all of us went flying off, whatever. I had to go actually take the distributor wire off of the boat so that he couldn't start them up and whatever. So, you know, that was one of the memories that I'd really forgotten about Jason and what, you know, some of the pranks that he used to pull and do. And we just always had so much fun, and he was just always up to something and doing something.
Oh man, Jason Leffler from day one, the guy with the mohawk, the guy who won USAC National Midget Points Championships for Keith Coons Motorsports and Steve Lewis and 9 Racing. As a kid, I grew up watching him come to Irwindale Speedway and win Turkey Night. So Jason Leffler, he's just one of those guys that always had a smile on his face. Very respected in this sport. When he won Turkey Night, that was pretty special. He came back, he got to go to NASCAR and was running NASCAR and came back to run Turkey Night and put it to everybody at Turkey Night. Won the biggest midget race of the year.
My favorite racing related but off track memory would be when I first rode in a rental car with Jason. He decided to pull the e-brake multiple times as we were driving in Iowa. He was running the nationwide race, and he had to do it any chance he got so he could scare me to death, and he liked to watch the look on other people's faces.
My favorite racing memory with Jason is, I think, was at the Chili Bowl, and I think we had ran into each other a couple times. I think we both had our fingers out the side at part of the race, and you know, we came in, and about 10 minutes later we saw each other, and he said, "Hey, you good?" I said, "Yeah, are you?" "Yep." And we just went on about our business, and that's just who Jason was. Inside the car, he was as fiery as could be, but you know, outside he loved to have a good time and just enjoy the sport.
Well, you know, I came along in USAC after he had already won everything and moved on to Charlotte. So he was a guy that I respected and looked up to and what he had accomplished in USAC. And one thing that I'll always remember is Jason stopping me one night, said how great of a racer he thought I was to do what I had been able to do in a sprint car. He thought sprint cars were really the man versus machine type of car. You know, there wasn't anything that compared to that, and he was just impressed what I was able to do, and that's something I always remember, him saying that to me.
Well, mine's kind of two-part. You know, Brian and Jason racing together. They banged wheels a little bit, and there was a time where I swore I would never talk to Jason again. In fact, I told him that emphatically, and it was at Chili Bowl a while back, and he was like, "Fine, I don't want to talk to you either. I like your kid better, blah, blah, blah." So it was a couple years later, and this really showed me kind of the change in Jason with Charlie around. You know, he came up to me and said, "I know we swore never to talk to each other, but I got to ask you something." And we got on the subject of kids and racing and that relationship. And really from that moment on, Jason and I had a really cool connection that really had nothing to do with racing, but more to do with the kids and that. And I'm just so thankful that I got to experience that with him.
There's only a certain amount of drivers that make it to the level Jason did. You know, he competed in the Cup Series for a long time. Never really had any, wins in the Cup Series. But I mean, he was always a constant competitor in the Nationwide Series, whatever. But you have to come back to this level, which is why he was running his sprint cars. I mean, I think he'll be remembered for this type of racing. You know, I grew up in Indiana watching Jason race. That was part of my upbringing as a kid. At the end of the day, yeah, he loved to run the big races and the big attention and the big TV and the big whatever, but I think he really loved this, and that's why I think it's great, because he would have loved to have been here and racing this with Doug and at Wade County Speedway.
We've heard some awesome stories about Jason Leffler, not only what kind of a person he was on the track, but how he was off the track as well. The format for tonight is 5 heat races, and all the guys transfer to their qualifiers. They're out of the qualifiers, they're going to figure out the lineup for the main. 4 guys are going home without racing. Here it's all about racing for Jason and having a ton of fun. They're racing for $5,000 and a pretty awesome custom trophy.
The fact that Jason and I discussed Power Eye and this discussed the environment and was giving people grace, and is why we chose Power Ride to run this program. And
You made the right choice.
yeah, it's surely looking like that. It'll be a real memorable event.
Lord, I ask that you give each driver safety that has come out to represent this race as they go out and do what they love to do. And all the glory goes to you, Lord. Godspeed.
We shall fight with growing confidence and growing strength in the air. We'll fight on the beaches. We'll fight on the landing ground. We'll fight in the night. We'll fight in the We'll never surrender.
I never back down and I'm not gonna stop now. Whenever people surround, it's about to go down. I keep my head held high and I'm on solid ground. I'm standing steady, ready to go as you're staring me down. I see the fear in your eyes as you look all around. I feel the strength in my veins as my heart starts to pound. There's a warrior inside and he really wants out. The stench of fear in the air and the aroma of death. I came to win, now you're gonna lose. You're sorry and there's nothing else you're gonna do. The verdict is in, I guess you didn't come through. Cause I came to win, now you're gonna lose. I came to win, now you're gonna lose. You're sorry and there's nothing else you're gonna do. The verdict is in, I guess you didn't come through. Cause I came to win, now you're gonna lose. I came to win, now you're gonna lose. You're sorry and there's nothing else you're gonna do. The verdict is in, I guess you didn't come through. Cause I came to win, now you're gonna lose.
Ladies and gentlemen, here he is. Right here is Rick Tom, third man of the year, fourth player for our victory. Some very, very heavy hearts down here.
It means a lot to me to win his memorial race, and I haven't quite put into words of what it really means yet, but I'm sure it's going to hit me someday. A lot of good cars were here, a lot of USAC guys, a lot of all the Power Ride guys. I mean, it was a really great race for a really great dude. I hope they remember it as one bad dirt track racer. That's what he was. I mean, he didn't like starting and parking NASCARs. He was there to go race, and you know he just spent every last dime he had to go race a sprint car, race a midget, race anything on dirt. You know, and that's cool. And I hope that's how everybody remembers him.
That's it for the Jason Leffler Memorial. What an amazing way to pay tribute to Jason Leffler. He would have been very, very proud. Doug Stringer, Great Clips, and all the folks at Wayne County Speedway did an amazing job, and the fans in attendance were awesome.
That's right, Mike. We look forward to many more Jason Leffler memorials in the future. And don't forget, there are always ways that you can contribute to the Charlie Dean Trust. Until next time, keep living the three-wide life.
It's going to be fun no matter what. It's great having this race back on dirt. The atmosphere is I mean, it's a lot higher than I've seen it the last couple of years.
So far it's gone really good. We qualified fourth and had a good draw, which we thought it was going to be a bad draw, but the track kind of went away for some of them other guys. So cars had really good speed, you know, and Shane and John and Tyler have done a really good job with it. So we're just we're looking good right now. You know, we're starting fourth, so we're locked in and can kind of just watch the track and try to keep up with the track and try to make the right choices. You know, you're gonna have to be tight here at the beginning, and especially full of fuel, and you know, it's gonna be a handful. But to do that, you got to be good at the end.
How's it going out there so far, Jason?
Good. Quick, fast. So
good.
Just got to work on the smooth part.
Your partner in crime showed up, but he's got a few tricks up his sleeve. I saw him offering you some advice.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got some tricks.
That's a great point. I'd love to win it on the dirt. I think that would be pretty cool.
two-time